Well, welcome everybody. My name is Jim Welch and I'm the chairman of the Louisville Regional Airport Authority, and it's indeed my honor and privilege to welcome everyone here for this incredibly exciting announcement for our community, our airport, our community, and our state. I wanted to welcome our guests here. Obviously, we've got our governor, our mayor, Luke Schmidt, representing the business community, and our airport executive director, Dan Mann. So I guess you've all seen an incredibly exciting announcement. New daily nonstop service to Los Angeles International Airport. As you all know, improved air service here at our airport and for our community is a real priority for us, and we've been working diligently on it. Over the last 2 years, we've increased the number of destinations with nonstop service by over 50%, from 21 to 32. Our ridership is up 15%, so we are really on a roll. But let me just say, LA is a biggie. Los Angeles is the second largest metropolitan area in the United States, and ranked by economic activity, or GDP, it's the third largest in the world. And so obviously daily connectivity from our community and our region to this economic hub is strategically vital for our future. So we're super excited about it, and as you will hear in a minute, this was a big-time team effort involving everyone, the state, the city, the business community, and the airport. And it's a real sign of what we can do as a community when we all pull together in the same direction. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dan Mann, who will give you specifics of this exciting new air service. Dan?
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Before I get into the specifics, a couple things I want to talk about. First, to grow air service, you first have to have a population, an economic base that can justify it. And I think we're very fortunate to live in Louisville, where things are growing, both economy-wise, but there's also inbound traffic, business and leisure, and all those things together made it possible for us to go out and pitch new air service. So the specifics of this, we really started talking to all the airlines, and I know the folks at LRAD had been talking to them for a couple years. We put a new team together at the airport, went to all the airlines, and we finally had the American Airlines, with all the past talk, say, yep, we're ready to do this. And so with starting April 2nd, American Airlines will launch nonstop service. It's going to leave Louisville at 7:24 a.m., arrive in LA at 9 a.m., so you can get there, take care of business during the day. And if you want to come, if you're going for punishment and want to come back that same day, it leaves LA at 10:55 and arrives back in Louisville at 6:02 in the morning. This is going to be on an Airbus 319, so it's going to be a large aircraft, dual-class cabin, 128 passengers, so it's a comfortable airplane. Great service. The other part of it is this bank and this schedule allows you to not only fly nonstop to LA, but if you have international traffic beyond that, it connects to international traffic to China, Australia, Japan, so some great connectivity. Or up and down the West Coast if you want to make the connection that way. So it's a fabulous opportunity for us. Again, clearly demonstrates the power of our economy and the business support for this. A couple folks I really want to bring attention to. I'm fairly new to Louisville. I've been here about 8 months. Right after I got here, I brought a new air service team to the airport. There's Anthony back here. Anthony Gilmer is my new director of air service and marketing. Anthony started here in August and immediately went to work on this priority of creating nonstop service to LA. Anthony's a phenomenal amount of respect with the airlines. He knows a lot of folks, really understands the numbers, and put a program together that really wasn't possible for anybody to say no to. We're not going to serve that market. So Anthony is part of the team. The other part is LA Pacific, Rhett Morgan. Rhett Morgan is a consultant, but he worked for Delta Airlines. He worked for Southwest Airlines. He lives in Dallas, routinely meets with the American Airline folks and all our airline partners. And together, those two made a pitch that, again, there's the opportunity was just too great for American to not start this nonstop service. So we're super excited about it. And then finally, none of this would have been possible without the business community really getting behind this and saying, hey, we want to be aspirational. We want to grow our market. We want to have service to the West Coast for a whole host of reasons: leisure, business travel, economic impact of all that. And so it wouldn't have been possible without the foundation that was laid by our folks at LRAD. And with that, I'll turn it over to Luke Schmidt.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's a real pleasure to be here, Governor Bevan, Mayor Fischer, and I'm delighted to represent Louisville Regional Airlift Development, or LRAD for short. We're absolutely pleased today to join our partners in this announcement on the new American Airlines nonstop flights from Louisville to Los Angeles and back. LRAD was formed by leading regional business and community leaders a little over a year ago to help facilitate new nonstop air service routes from SDF to key business markets around the country, particularly on both coasts. Our initial target markets have been Los Angeles, Boston, San Francisco, and Seattle. And following lots of research that we did leading up to the development of LRAD, we recognized that there was a real need for competitive community-based incentives to couple with the incentives that the airport typically offers for new airports or for new air routes going forward. And really, bottom line, getting new air service today is very, very competitive. It's very much like going after a new manufacturing facility or a new business. Our incentive package is built around what's called a minimum revenue guarantee, or an MRG for short. MRGs enable the community to share in the initial risk of a new route with the airline as the route builds to a sustainable and profitable level. So today, LRAD is proud to be providing our first MRG to American Airlines, which they will use only if the airline falls short of its revenue target during the first 2 years of operation. And I want to stress that we have every expectation, and the airline has every expectation, that this is going to be a very successful route and a profitable route. From day one, LAX has been the most requested route that we've received, that the airport authorities received, and it's also the most underserved market out of Louisville today. We started actively recruiting this route back on February 6th with a visit to the American Airlines headquarters in Fort Worth. A former employee of the Airport Authority, plus Secretary of Economic Development Terry Gill, and I went down. We made the pitch and then followed that up all through the spring and the summer with a lot of emails, conference calls. We sent a lot of market updates to keep American in the loop, and plus another meeting in Cleveland. And all along the way, we established a really positive working relationship with the route expansion team at American. And they're no strangers to Louisville. American has served this market for decades, and it just recently culminated in their commitment to serve the route. This new flight, as both Jim and Dan indicated, meets LRAD's most important criteria: convenient business schedule for travelers in both markets, dual class service, and connecting opportunities to the Far East. And as Jim said, Louisville and Los Angeles in the Southern California market represent one of the largest markets in the world. And this opens up a lot of new commerce opportunities for the state, for Southern Indiana, and it should lead to new jobs. We really appreciate Americans' commitment to the marketplace. Most importantly, though, I want to recognize our strategic partners, each of whom played an important role and made significant pledges to help us get to where we are today. First of all, for the Cabinet for Economic Development, Secretary Terry Gill has been instrumental in helping us get here. From Louisville Ford and Louisville Metro Government, Louisville Ford's chief, Mary Ellen Wiederwall, who's in the back. The Louisville Convention and Visitors Bureau, Karen Williams, the president and CEO. She was not able to be here today, but also was a big, big partner. And then the Louisville Renaissance Zone, and Dan Mann, the executive director, he wears two hats around here, and they're important hats. And then a numerous business and corporate partners that we have that have made investments in what we're doing. And then also I want to recognize Coleman Karleski, LRAD's board chairman. Coleman's had a very important role in what we've been working on to make this happen. And several of our other board members are here today, which we appreciate. Let me close my comments with two observations. First, LRAD is just getting started. This is the first route. We've got several more to go. We want to work closely with our partners at the state, at Metro, at the Airport Authority to make the next few routes happen. And we want to invite members of the business community that are not necessarily a part of this to join us because we've got a lot of work to do, and we want to get this airport as competitive as possible. My second exhortation is buy tickets. when this flight starts, if you're going to California, we want to see you on this flight because it's important that the community and the region support it. So again, buy tickets, and that's about it. So thank you very much. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Mayor of Louisville, the Honorable Greg Fischer.
Good afternoon, everybody. I do want to say it feels, this is a great announcement here today, but it feels a little awkward celebrating this announcement given the heartbreaking tragedy that took place in J-Town yesterday. So I know the hearts of our city have come out for all the folks involved with that. So I do just want to recognize that, but also recognize as a city and as a state, we've got to keep moving forward as well. So this is a really, really big announcement here today. I'm a business guy, entrepreneur that just happens to be mayor. I've been asking for 35 years, and so many people have been asking me, when are we going to get a direct flight to LA? So for this to happen is really an answer to so many different issues in our community when we think about not just business growth and tourism growth, but also relevancy. If you're a business guy in LA, and if you keep asking me, and Governor, I'm sure they've asked you to do as well, it's like, why don't you have direct flights to Louisville from here? And for a lot of folks, that's kind of a marker of whether or not you're a player. And when you take a look at what's happening in our city right now and happening in our region, there's so many things going on and so much investment taking place in our city. Folks were scratching their heads of why doesn't Louisville have direct flights? So for the LRAD team to come together, for our regional airport authority team to come together and just have a really great partnership around making this happen shows what takes place when people think about playing to win. And you can't lay back. Obviously, we're in an aggressive business environment. If you're waiting for things to happen, you're going to be on the menu for lunch. This is an effort that shows like we can do better. We can go direct to LA, Boston, San Francisco, Seattle, but we got to do something about it. So I want to thank the private sector for helping jumpstart this with LRAD. So many of these folks have been mentioned already, so thank you all, Coleman. Thank you for your kind of tireless advocacy on behalf of this as well. Dan Mann, for you and your team, talking about what can be done instead of what can't be done is an important part of making things like this happen also. Louisville Tourism, I want to thank them. They are participating in this along with the city of Louisville and the state obviously as well. So it just takes a lot of folks to come together to make this happen. So whether it's folks coming here for a business or bourbonism, this is really going to be great for our city. Bourbonism, I talk about it a lot because it's really one of our placemaking strategies. Our food and beverage sector is really on fire because of this. So now for people to be able to fly here directly to enjoy those experiences, which are now 2 to 5 day experiences when people come here and their expectations are always exceeded, this is a big deal for the tourism of our city, not to mention obviously the business relevancy as well. So just a big thank you and a big shout out for our city on getting this done today. This would not have been done if key partners didn't come to the table. Terry Gill with Economic Development of the state, want to compliment you for your business approach to making things happen with our Commonwealth around the world, and certainly your lead on this project as well. So nice job to you and the entire team. And then of course, nice job to the governor. Governor Bevan and I knew each other as business guys long before we even thought about running for elected office. So it's fun to work together on projects like this and see things come together to benefit all of us. So very fortunate to have a governor that thinks as a business guy to get things done. Please welcome our governor, Matt Bevan.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. It's fun to watch the reactions of people as they walk by and see this assembled. They look over, they're hoping it's a reality show, and they look disappointed when they see us sitting here. They're looking for someone more famous or glamorous, perhaps. But this is an exciting day, and for those of you that have flown in and out of the city, over the last couple decades, I've flown, I don't know, well over 1 million miles in and out of this location on a multitude of airlines. And I am just delighted. I'm grateful to all the folks that have been involved from the board and airport perspective, from the people in economic development, from the city, and to American Airlines for stepping up, because a lot of conversations have taken place with a lot of folks. An interesting little thing that means a lot to me personally that you wouldn't necessarily know is that my grandfather was one of the very first pilots ever for American Airlines. Actually flew for American in the 30s and 40s. And so to me, this is kind of interesting to see things kind of, and he flew to the West Coast, actually. And so to that end, it's meaningful. I look forward, I hope, to being on this very first flight. I don't know if my schedule will allow it, but I can't reiterate enough the need to do exactly that. Buy tickets. I can assure you, we have talked, and without, I don't want to scare the people on the other end of this flight, but I will simply say this. In economic development, we have often talked about where from Kentucky to take advantage of the things that have been mentioned about the growth in this city, in this community, in this state, in this region. What are the kind of things we can do from an economic development standpoint to actually broaden our footprint? We've talked about what are those locations around the world where there are target-rich opportunities to bring investment from those places to Kentucky. And we've talked about different countries around the world. Well, I'll tell you, the country of California sounds fantastic. And now we will be able, and there's a lot of reasons why economically this place we're in now is very appealing to folks that are on the other end of this flight. And so I look forward not only for a lot of people from our economic development team using this, but so many other businesses that will be going to and from, and businesses that will be coming here. This is an exciting, exciting time. Thank you to all involved. I'm grateful to each and every one of you. It's so good to see so many business people here as well. I look forward to the number of people that will be using this flight. Thanks to those that are covering this. This really is an important day. This is a huge, huge, huge impact in terms of our ability to continue to develop economic growth in this region. So thank you so much, and thanks to each and every one of you that was involved. And I'll turn things back over to you, Jim. Thanks.
So I'll just close again by saying that the growth that our airport's been experiencing is largely due to the vibrancy of our community. And if we can demonstrate to the airlines that this service is successful, we will continue to be able to expand nonstop service to other critical markets in the country. So let's, as a community, come together and show that we really want to be part of the global economic system, and let's use the service so we can continue to grow the way we have. And thanks again to all the partners who have made this possible, and we look forward to continuing to working with you all to have more announcements like this in the months to come. So thanks again to everybody.